So a lot of you guys know me because of my Hispanic mother. So I thought it would be cool for us to get like an intimate Ask Me Anything. And we put these questions up online and we said, ask us anything on Insta stories. And so now we're picking the random questions. Oh, and my brother's reading the questions, so we don't know what they are.
First question. You seem super quiet lately. What's going on?
I'm depressed. So all jokes aside, I did not have MK for the holidays and that messed me up. So now I'm like recovering this first couple weeks of January and that's why I've been a little quiet.
Next question, Chris.
Did she like your ex-husband before you got married? Or did she see the red flags before you?
Oh, I saw the flags. It's a flag parade.
She was crying at my wedding in the courthouse. Please don't do it. You're gonna ruin your life. I'm like, Mom, he's right here.
No, it wasn't that you were gonna ruin it. I wanted her to go on, but without getting married. I don't think today's date you need to get married.
I agree, but he was very religious, and it's something that mattered.
If he was so religious, then you shouldn't have been having sex before getting married.
Would you be able to resist me? Yeah, she saw the red flags. I think all the moms see it.
It's not because we see more, it's just because we've lived more. So we see.
No, it's not because we know more. It's because we've experienced more.
We've lived more.
Yeah. So she did say that. That was really profound. I'm like, you're right. You don't know more than me. But you have lived longer. So perhaps you know a little more.
Yes.
What is your favorite / least favorite thing about each other?
My least favorite thing about my mother is
I
I
feel
feel like
careful what you say.
I feel like sometimes you're a little insensitive to how I feel, like the intensity of what I'm feeling, what it means to me.
You're very intense, yeah.
Okay, but see, I feel like you just kind of gaslight me a little bit, and you're like, yeah, you're acting a little crazy. Like, you don't really validate my emotions.
Because they're crazy sometimes.
Okay,
And you wonder why.
Okay, my favorite thing about my mother is, I don't know, you like light up every room you walk into. Everyone who knows her loves her. You're so beautiful. And you just have like the most beautiful laugh and sense of humor. You're like one of my favorite people in the world.
Well, the least, you're not patient. I think that your lack of patience is the least of your qualities. And and they
Sorry, we're gonna need to take a recess here.
No,
We'll be back shortly.
No. You're a very loving person. When you actually are happy with somebody, you help them grow. And that, I think it's magical. Yeah, that's what I like the most about you.
Thanks, Mom.
Like when she thinks I can lose weight, I lose weight.
It's all up to me, but if she's pissed me off, nope, you can't
gain it all
do
back.
Is she still married to your dad?
Oh, let me answer that for you. So, she actually divorced my father and got married to her divorce lawyer, who divorced her from my father. That's how my brother got here. Pretty smart, you know? It helped me out. He's my dad, quote unquote, because he raised me. So I call him my dad, so that might be confusing when I'm referring to him. But we're actually fighting right now, so he's my stepdad. Okay? What was I saying? Oh yeah, so my stepdad was actually my divorce lawyer as well. So it really worked out for the family.
To keep it in the family business. Chris, your turn.
We got you if you ever need it, buddy.
What was the toughest thing about raising Kat?
She was a perfectionist, so she expected everybody around her to be a perfectionist. And it was hard sometimes, like she would be looking at her homework at 1 in the morning and rip it all off because it had the leaf missing, you know, and start all over again. I was like,
Mentally unstable.
stop! That looks perfect! Stop it!
What has been the toughest thing to overcome in your mother-daughter relationship?
You would always tell me like I couldn't trust people, but then you also didn't really make it a safe space to talk to you about it. So I'm like, who do I talk to then? And I slipped slowly into madness because I couldn't talk to anybody. So I think that was difficult for me because, you know, I'd talk to her about something and she'd be like, so what? And I'm like, what do you mean? it's a problem for me.
I think that's just a generational gap difference.
Well,
because
empathy is not a generational gap difference. Empathy is empathy.
okay, so I lack empathy.
Maybe. Like, you don't lack empathy for animals. But humans. Well, that's another story.
People.
Yeah. That was always hard.
Yes, and I love animals. Or my
There's
life.
a little bit of a language barrier. Sometimes she also doesn't understand what I say. But that's always been
It's
that way.
very convenient.
What was Kat like as a teenager?
Yeah, well, this was the time she started going out, so it was fun for her. It was
Fun. Traumatic.
it was fun. You had a lot of fun.
I also didn't have a lot of fun.
Well, she was starting with her first relationship, and that was a roller coaster.
I lost my virginity in the backseat of her car.
Oh my God, and I just gave the car away. I was donating it, and they just told me that. Mamita, but out of all places, you chose the back seat of a car.
I'm what, a 16-year-old girl? Where are we gonna go? Our parents' house?
Oh,
The other option was the beach. No, thank you.
too much sand.
Too sandy for me.
What did Kat want to be all throughout school? What did you think she would be?
I could have sworn she was gonna be a doctor. She wanted to be a doctor. She didn't know what type of doctor she wanted to be.
But did I want to be a doctor, or did you instill it in me since I was so little that I thought I wanted to be a doctor?
No, I don't think I instilled it in you because no.
People keep asking about a video that you deleted.
Oh yeah, so we were gonna post another video before my mom and I had filmed. She just talked about religion and her views on everything and the church, and I just...
What church?
When were you the most worried for me?
I guess I was worried was when you were attending that church. There were a bunch of freaks in there.
Mom, you can't say that. Do you believe in, like, God and the universe?
I do definitely do, but I don't believe in people taking advantage of using God to their benefit. That's what I don't believe in.
Now do you remember?
Advice on going through divorce with a kiddo. Personally going through one now.
You did that too. I did, but it was so much easier than yours. Yay.
Lucky me. Yeah, I think the hardest part for a divorce when the kid's involved is also depending on the age, they're very perceptive to it, but also you have to split time with them, and that's like gut-wrenching. So the video before this, I talk about a lot of advice. I talk about what to talk about in your divorce, in your mediation, and the settlement prior, what to ask for, what to fix in the parenting schedule and the co-parenting. Also remember, whatever your ex did to you has nothing to do with your child. So you just have to disassociate the two and not think like, if they betrayed you in some way, that doesn't mean they're a bad parent. They might be a bad partner, but it doesn't mean they're a bad parent. It's gonna be a rough ride and it's gonna suck, but getting through it is the best and it's worth it. And honestly, I do try to answer the DM for you guys asking these intimate questions, and if you guys ever need anything or any advice, I will always answer to the best of my ability, but everyone is different. Every experience is different, but no matter what your experience, you just have to have grace with yourself. I hated it. Like, I would second guess myself. Did I make the right decision? Is this gonna fuck up my life? Is it gonna fuck up my kid's life? But no, like, own your decision.
Also, if you're going through the whole process, don't be optimistic about it because you're gonna be in a dreamland that's not.
God, remember me in mediation? Do not be optimistic. The person you are divorcing is not the person you married. These are two different people, okay?
Mhm.
That other person is dead. You're dealing with a totally different person who's in a fight or flight response right now. My jaw dropped during mediation because I was like expecting it to be.
Who is this?
I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, that's not fair. No, it doesn't matter.
Be realistic and be cold about it. Try to detach yourself for a second and see what's going on.
Take the emotion out of it. Because it's
absorb.
hard. You're gonna spend the rest of your life with someone. It's hard. Well, we could talk about this forever, but that's my advice.
What was your field before TickTock?
I was working at the VA hospital as a research coordinator for a TMS study. That's transcranial magnetic stimulation. It sent, electromagnetic breakdowns through the brain.
So good. It helps so many.
It helped repair broken neural pathways because it was for people who had PTSD, post-combat trauma veterans, but meds weren't working, therapy wasn't working. So this was like a new technology they were trying to do.
She was helping a lot of people here.
That's what I did. I really liked it.
Do you think you can ever be 100% sure on if your partner is the one?
What?
That's for you, honey.
For you too. I want to see what you have to say.
No.
You can never be 100% sure?
I don't think so. When you are, then they screw you over.
You got a point there. Yeah, I say no as well. I was gonna say yeah. We sound like we've been burned before.
That's part of the fun. You never know.
That's part of the
That's
fun.
part of that. Keeps you on your toes.
Says the one that hasn't been burned.
How does your mom feel about the impersonation?
Oh, I love them. I think they're very funny. I find them very funny because
I mean, my brother and I would impersonate her when we were younger.
exactly. They did this all throughout
Yeah.
growing up.
It was like
hilarious
how we bonded
back
as a family.
then. And
Lack of communication was what brought us together.
they were always making fun of my English and the words I would invent. And they still do it to this day. They call each other, there's a new word.
You won't believe what
You
she
have
said
to write it down
in
now.
public.
In
My
public.
favorite is the she wanted a decomposed breakfast sandwich and like the person at the cashier was like not understanding, obviously. She was like, "What do you mean, ma'am?" She's like, "I want it decomposed." And I was like, "She means
Those reasons.
yeah, she means deconstructed." Classic mix-up, you know? I was like,
Yeah.
she's a vampire! She's a mummy! Okay, well, I think that's all the time we have for today. That's it, folks! So if you guys liked this type of video, we'll definitely do more of them. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're gonna have videos every week now. And thank you so much for your questions. And if we didn't get to your question this time, we'll get to it next time. Maybe.
Yes.
I'm not promising it because we also might not get to it next time. But yeah, thank you for watching.
Don't forget to smash
Don't
that
forget
like
to
button.
smash that like button! Subscribe!
Ring the bell!
Ring that bell! Get those notifications! That's what I really want to say.